Hey peeps, it's Tripl-L, and right now I am here to talk to you about My Hero Academia Chapter 108, Rush. And what can I really say about this chapter? Well, actually, it was a very strong chapter. A lot of things were going on and a lot of characters were getting their due time, and I very much appreciate that. Like, I actually think this was a very good chapter, My Hero Academia. It's maybe not the most exciting, but for what it accomplishes, it was very worthwhile. So let's actually talk about it. Like, the big standout moment is, of course, the guy that stands out, Aoyama Naval Laser. And to see that we're actually like even tried to tackle a bit of his character in this chapter is great. It's really great, especially because we see a little bit of his insecurities and just what he has to struggle with. Like, he says he always wants to be like other people. Well, no, actually, in this chapter it's when he said that he wants to be equal, but he stands out from other people. And this is just his own self-perception, because Ida does point out that that's his own way of standing equal with the rest of his class. And I understand where some of his anxiety is coming from, because when we started the series, Aoyama was the one who had the distinction of already needing equipment. When we first were introduced to him, he already had his laser belt to focus his naval laser. And that's, I think, a very big deal, to have to start out your heroic career pretty much with needing an equipment to make yourself viable, because his naval laser is just too widespread otherwise, too uncontrollable otherwise. I think that kind of anxiety, that kind of distinction weighed in on him for a while. And overall, his personality is very outlandish. But to see that he's actually self-aware of it, and to see like how he deals with his struggles, and that he does want to be like the rest of his class, I think it's a very valid struggle. And what he ultimately ends up doing, the giant naval laser, it was both a self-sacrificial move on his part because he wanted Ida to survive, and at the same time it was the herald to something awesome, because what followed after that naval laser blast, oh my god, that is the strongest moment of the chapter, because it was so well done and so awesome to watch. But before that, let's also talk about Ida. Ida again shows off that he's really become his own character. He really takes his role as the class president very seriously, and seeing that he left the rest of his group in Momo's capable hands so that she could lead them to victory as he went to collect the other stragglers, I think it's very honorable on Ida's part. Like, this is his thing, you know. It's not something that Deku would do, but it's something that Ida would do, and I don't think that speaks badly of either character. But it does go further to differentiate their various approaches, and it's nice to see that Ida still wants to live up to his brother's reputation. So Ida's moments in this chapter were very strong, and seeing him kind of hold Aoyama back and also being the one to pep talk him, you know, very valuable. Let's actually talk about the epic moment now, when all the remainder of Class A shows up. So the naval laser calls in everyone's attention, and then a flock of doves comes in, and within that flock of doves, the best panel ever, Fumikage right behind it. It was really epic. They framed it really well. That was just funny, and it really felt very like scary. Just the idea of Fumikage coming behind a flock of pigeons or doves. I very much loved that, man. It was so enjoyable. And then all the other characters showing up. Ojiro showed up, and then Mineta showed up. Their little team up was pretty good, and Ojiro saying take what you can from the ones you can take from. That was very good. And of course Mineta dying because he's just going crazy, throwing all of his grapes around. Very good stuff, very good stuff. Mineta also got a second win later when he saw Ochiko's chest, so good for the boy. He was able to revive himself. Other really strong moments in that attack was, of course, the guy that can talk to animals. I think Koda is his name, making the whole dub effect. And then we get Ashido and Sugar Man coming in as well. Ashido she was given a really good shot in her panel. I know that the author does draw her in particular a lot for his Twitter drawings, I believe, and it's good to see his practice is paying off. Like, that was a really good shot of Ashido. I really hope she's a character that gets a bit more focus in the future. And then another character that we also got something really cool from was Tooru, the invisible girl. And we find out that her quirk is actually related to light manipulation to some degree. She was able to blind all the opponents, and that's a very good thing, because I was of the impression that she had a quirk ever since the author made the comment that he wanted to explore her quirk more. So the invisibility might either be a constant effect from her light manipulation quirk, or it might be a mutant body type quirk, the same way that Fumikage has a mutant body and that he has a bird head. She might have a mutant body and that she's invisible, and then she can do her light stuff. So that was really cool. It's really cool to see that she has a quirk in all of that. Now let's see any other characters. There was a group of 9, so it was Aoyama, Ida, Ashido, Mineta, Ojiro, Sugarman, and I'm missing 2. Oh yeah, they call Fumikage and then the animal speaker. So overall, those 9, they passed, and they did it in a very strong fashion. I think it was interesting though that Eraserhead made the comment that so many of them were still left. I think in his mind maybe they've already failed just because that many of them were still in it at that late in the game. But it's still a good moment. They did get past the first round. That's a very strong distinction. Now there are other things that were going on in this chapter. It was also the other high school. They made their counterattack. A group of 8 of them got through. The Quaker guy, he approached it in a kind of sneaky way. He definitely seems to have some kind of sense of elitism. I'm not really sure what to make of him yet. It's a bit too early, but he pretty much led his group of classmates through. And then let's see, what else do we got in this chapter? Oh, another very strong moment was Bakugo. Bakugo and Deku have a bit of an exchange. First is Bakugo acknowledging Deku to some degree. I think that's what surprised Deku. And then talking about making a borrowed power his own. Now this is a very mature moment for Bakugo because I think it's more that he's accepting of Izuku receiving this quirk, which I am assuming he can guess that it's All Might's quirk. So I do think he's accepted and he's okay with the fact that Deku received his quirk from someone else only because he's earned his quirk at this point. Like he's really trying to make it his own. He's made it something that he uses, not something that All Might uses. So this was a very insightful moment from Bakugo, and honestly it only served to make the chapter better. I think it does show that character development is happening with Bakugo, and like always, Bakugo is a smart kid. He's introduced as being exceedingly smart, and it's just his personality is shit, but he has the capacity to like really use analytical thought, and this kind of shows it. I'm very happy for that moment with Bakugo. Overall, I think that's all the moments I want to talk about in this chapter. It's a very strong chapter. We're moving into the second phase, which is a rescue, and that's where the old men and the babies are getting involved. So that'll be cool. I'm very happy to see that all of the class 1A got through, but it'll be very interesting to see where we go from here. I think now I'm okay with some of the class members falling down and not making it through the second round. Anyway, I'm pretty excited for next week, and I hope you guys are too. Let me know what you thought, and leave a comment. Also, if you like manga related content, subscribe to the channel. I mean, it's one of the things I do on the channel, and if you like it, then you can keep up with it every week. Anyway, till next time, have a good day.